Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Carter's vlog. And we started the week off with a normal bench press against bands. He got 275 plus his bands. We're happy with that. All good. It looks like he's using about a medium grip there because he's just inside the rings. So yeah, we kind of ran into a snafu, and I realized I did the same thing to Mike. And Mike hit a lifetime deadlift PR 2 weeks ago, and in the middle of my move, I missed his vlog. So, trying to play catch up here with Carter, but Mike's got pushed too far back. So again, some people didn't get vlogs in, and so now I'm attempting to play catch up. So Carter's going to have like an extra vlog in the middle of the mix, kind of as he finishes these workouts. All right, but over to the training. Because he needs a lot more pec right now, we're putting a heavy focus on dumbbell work. And as you guys can see here, we did flat and incline. Although, like I said, I think later in the week we pulled the incline because, again, he's starting to get just a little bit of shoulder inflammation, and we do have to watch that. Again, his job, physically demanding, has to wear a loadout all the time. He does have a lot of history of overuse, and it's something we noted early on, when we started rehabbing his hips and his low back and everything, because he couldn't squat or deadlift at all, and I started having him do some of just the machines. All right, we did a lot of belt squats, a lot of reverse hypers, but he looked at that and said, the volume you're giving me is dramatically lower than I'm used to. And I just kind of laugh because I'm like, but this is appropriate levels of volume. We get into this whole issue of overuse, and I see so much of that. You see a lot of these evidence-based people at this point promoting these ultra high volumes out there now because of some studies that don't really even show it. But that's besides the point. Again, there's a lot of circle jerks and things that happen in these communities. And, so again, they tend to follow certain leaders and they follow them without question, right? They follow them without question. And then a lot of them are promoting these really high volumes of training. But here's the problem we run into is the overuse side. It's not that maybe you might not make 0.5% more gains from the much higher volumes. Maybe you will. But it's oftentimes coming at the expense of inflammation, more deloads, more downtime. So it doesn't really pan out in the grand scheme of things. And, as a result of this, he still has a lot of inflammation. He runs into problems with his radial brachialis. We run into elbow inflammation, occasional shoulder. He has hip and low back inflammation. And these things rear back up easily for him. So we have to watch the volumes. But as you guys see, we do a little bit of single joint stuff for shoulders in here. We still do his high rep band press downs, which you guys know I'm a big fan of. Big fan of those. But again, for people who have any history of elbow tendonitis or elbow pain, elbow inflammation. All right, this week he did a safety bar squat. And we didn't go super heavy here. I think he called it for the week at a reasonable weight. Again, noting a little bit of, inflammation in those hips and everything. So we just have to be aware of that. But the beauty of it is at least we have him squatting and deadlifting again. Even if his squats are up in the 300s and his deadlifts are high 300s, hovering around 400. I think we got a 405 the other day. The fact that he could squat and deadlift at all now, we're in a good place. And since he did feel that felt a little bit awkward, he took his Rogue Rhino, which is his belt squat, his newer one. So I like this device, actually. Actually, I like it a lot. I think it's a great design. A little bit pricey, but a great design. And he did his good mornings on it. So we still ended up doing good mornings, belt squats, glute ham raises, and reverse hypers, which all movements that I like. I'd venture to say that outside of our GPP and sled work and maybe some plyos, these are probably and variations of them are probably the only real movement patterns we need for lower body to get up to the elite level. And I'm not saying I don't prescribe glute bridges or hip thrusts or other leg exercises to people who don't have some of this equipment, but he has all this equipment. And look at the lifts that I've built up using basically these supplemental lifts, my deadlift and stuff. And I have other lifters who are crazy strong who do the same sort of stuff. They don't have access to other things. We make these work. Have at least one guy with his own home gym who squats an easy 550. Easily squats 550. Now I have some guys in the 600 plus range, but those are rare. Who is very lean, and this is the stuff that he has: glute ham raise, reverse hyper, some specialty bars. He doesn't even have the belt squat. All right, over to dynamic effort upper day. Speed bench against bands, rotating grips. He's now pausing, and I'm finding I like more of my lifters to pause on this stuff, particularly my raw lifters. I get the whole idea for a shirted bencher, the overspeed eccentrics, and the reversing very, very quickly. But I like pauses on speed work the more I look at it for raw benchers. I really do, because we have to learn to pause. We have to learn to get powerful off the chest. We have to generate speed off the chest. And if we're never practicing that, it's going to be a problem, particularly in a phase where someone like Carter is doing all dumbbell works. We're not pausing. We use a stretch reflex on that. So we're not worried about getting that stretch reflex on that bench. We need to learn to explode from that pause. You need to learn to explode from that pause even on the speed work. Again, we can make the case for if someone's doing some extra rep work on benching and close variations of it and pausing their floor press and stuff like that. Okay, we could justify that reversal there. But the more I look at it, I do like to use speed work to reinforce technique. All right, then he does his flat dumbbell presses. We cut the inclines out at this point for him just due to the inflammation component. And then, of course, we do lat pull downs. And he's doing these mostly with a false grip because, again, we have that radial brachialis inflammation. So until that heals up, because he's had it for months and months and months, it's always been there. Just a minor little, not injury, but inflammation that has never really gone away, even with deload. So now I'm having him try to take the stress off of it, taking a little bit of the stress off it. He's even started working with maybe doing like one set of pull-ups that way also, but they start to aggravate it. All right, after that, we do lateral raises. Again, shoulder development. Need to keep developing his shoulders, even though pecs are a weak point. And I find this with more of my advanced lifters, we do more shoulder work. I don't care as much for novices and intermediates because, quite frankly, a lot of them, just their rowing and pressing and everything will actually develop delts. And I've seen many coaches and even trainers out there who are more physique-oriented trainers point that out. Most people don't actually need a lot of delt work early on. It may not even add much. It might, but it probably won't. And then, of course, we finish up with his band press downs. And we didn't get footage this week. He had to skip DE lower, and we went right into next week for his training because he likes to train on certain days with his max effort work. So I hope it has been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.